Hello, beautiful people. How are you? I am doing a quick live as I'm parked in the car. So it's called Live in the Car. I uploaded a new podcast yesterday, and I hope that you get a chance to listen to it. It's on various platforms. It's Cadence in the Clouds, and by your host, Karen St. Hilaire. It's on iTunes Podcast. It's on Google Play. It's on Podbean, which is where I host. It's also on Spotify and Stitcher. So it's Cadence in the Clouds by Karen St. Hilaire on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and at times I will note when it's on SoundCloud. It's not always on SoundCloud. I need to be a little bit more assiduous with that. But I'm doing a live because for those of you, I just love supporters. You guys are awesome. Who have already listened to it and they're like, okay, hold up. What? This podcast was all about, it's really about my friends, my circle. We're all superheroes in our eyes, right? We know some bad chicks and dudes. And I really feel, good morning, Sir Vicky. I really feel that every superhero SHERO needs to recharge their utility belt. I mean, remember when Batman, if Batman didn't put gas in the car, the Batmobile wasn't going anywhere. Just because you didn't see him fill the gas in the car, the car needs gas. If the utility belt, he'll go, oh, holy smokes, I forgot my rope. You have to make sure your utility belt, your cache, is well stocked. You have to make sure that you have power. I just went right into this thing. I didn't even say hi. My name is Karen St. Hilaire, and I am the host of Cadence in the Clouds. I didn't say any of that, did I? That's not important. It's me. You have to make sure that your cache is full. You have to make sure that you have enough power in your utility belt so that when disaster hits, when stress comes, when the storm's going crazy in your personal life or that of your family, you're able to cape on and go to the rescue. We find ourselves being the be all and end all and the go-to for everyone, our social circles, our intimate circles, our family and friends, and for ourselves, we usually last. And at some point we pass out. Oh my gosh, I was sick. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. My face is breaking out. I got acid reflux, the severe case of it, coupled with other things, have issues. You find all these things wrong with you and you blame it on stress with people. You blame it on, oh, I'm not getting any sleep. How about you blame it on you are not listening to your body? How about you blame it on you overdoing it? And at times we feel that if we don't step in, it's not going to get done properly. Everything ain't gonna be done right. I'm not saying to not take your time and work to perfection, but everything's not gonna be done right. All right. I remembered, I don't remember, like 2 weeks ago when I got sick and I was, and I went to the ER. It was, my chapter meeting was that Saturday. And my president was like, you're not coming here. You're not coming here. You're not well. You need to have people around you that's also going to say, lay down and recharge your battery. Your battery charge is important. So this week's podcast, I basically spoke about recharging your battery and the reasons why you should do it. I also gave a great example as on how the battery goes on E and we don't pay attention. There's the blinking light. We don't pay attention to the blinking light. The blinking light is headaches. The blinking light is fatigue. The blinking light is maybe passing out. But then we wait until we're dead. To like, oh my God, I'm on E. You were on half when you were getting the headaches. So this week's podcast, I talk about, the fact that we don't pay attention to our bodies. We don't pay attention to what the body says, right? And our bodies, like some of us, they're like, word? Okay, you're not listening to this warning? Okay, let me give you another warning. Oh, you're not listening to that one? I'm going to give you a third one. Oh, you didn't listen to the third one? I'm going to take you out. It happens. Oh, my body just gave up on me. Your body didn't give up on you. Your body was tired of you not listening. So I talked about that. And then in true Karen form, I went in Check the engine light. Yes, Michael Ray, check that. When that engine light comes on, you got to check it. A lot of people like to go that extra 2-3 miles when the gas light comes on. Bruh, that's not good. Okay? You knew you were on E before the gas light came on, because that little area, come on, you're bordering on crazy. So what I did with this podcast was I talked about the crazy that we allow ourselves to go through, because we feel that a lot of things in life will not happen properly or will not go well if we don't insert ourselves. But there are times that we have to stand back and let some stuff fall to the ground and break, because family members and friends need to understand, and they need to see that, hey, if such and such doesn't step in, if I don't step in, it's going to fall and break. So maybe I should have a backup. And hey, family member, yeah, that might be you. So sometimes we have to teach our circles, family, friends, etc., a lesson. Because if we don't, we're going to learn a harder lesson. And I'm not saying to be mean and malicious. Follow me as I go on this journey with you in this conversation. It's really about taking care of yourself, making sure that your utility belt is on full, and allowing your body to rest, so that when you do cape on and you do go run that restaurant and you do go run that chapter and you do, everything for your family, you take care of the kids and have that dope job and you're making it happen, that you're not going to pass out in the process. Because let me be super clear. Anything happens to you, stuff still has to function. Life still has to happen. And my mama always says, if you fall, they're going to be all right. They're going to have to keep going. You're going to be the one on the ground. She's right half of the time. Right? So in this podcast, I give you just 3 simple rituals that you should add into your daily life. So a lot of us have this, I created this whole facial scrub or this hair mask because I went into my cupboard and I found egg whites and, I'm making this up, mayonnaise, and everybody has a concoction. Well, there is a self-care concoction that you can sit in your room, live anywhere in your apartment, house, mansion, even in your car, and you can make it happen. You can do it. You can exercise these things and walk out. Give you a little charge, just enough charge so you can make that phone call. You put the phone in and you just want enough bars so you can make, first you want some bars and you just want enough charge so you can get that call through or check your email or see if that slick comment that you put in went, yes, you know of what I speak. So you need to be able to implement these things into your life, into your routine, your daily routine, weekly, monthly, quarterly routines. You need to add these in. And here's my thing with self-care. Yes, we all need therapy at some point, some way, shape, or form. You know when. Okay, when you start arguing that you don't, 9 times out of 10 you do. We all need therapy. You all need, we need to go to the gym. We need to work out. We need to have healthy social relationships. But then there's that alone time regimen that you need to insert into your life so that you can recharge sufficiently, right? When I say sufficiently, let's say you do need to go to a therapist. Let's say you do need to go to the gym. You do need to go to the doctor. But if you insert these homemade remedies at times, it holds you over until you go to the big spot. You get what I'm saying? And there are really 3 that I give you, and they're very simple to the point where it might make you laugh a little. But once you try each of them on their own, you will realize, I'm right. She right. You will realize that I'm right. And you can add your own. You can add your own. You can then say, oh, but you know what? I also like to do this. And that's part of my personal self-care. That's part of the things that I add into my personal life or my space and my weight, and it makes me feel good. That is some vitamin for me. Those actions can be daily vitamin, multivitamins. Hey, Rand, multivitamins. You have to create your own self-care regimen that does not include someone else. It's important. It really is important. There's a lot of us who are working really hard. There's a lot of us who are, sticking our neck outs for others. There's a lot of us who are going above and beyond for our organizations, for our families and our friends. Not saying that it's not warranted, not saying that it's not necessary, but what I am saying is, in the midst of all of that, I need you to make sure that you take care of yourself. I need you to, every couple of days, look down at your utility belt, open your cache to see if you have enough weapons to fight the enemy. Make sure that you repack and restock your cache. Make sure that your utility belt is on full, like green. Yellow, red, problems. Make sure it's on green. And so when you put your cape on and you decide you want to be Superman and Superwoman, or T'Challa and what's her name? Her. When you decide you want to be these individuals, that you're not going to run out of gas or any fuel in the midst of doing the work and being that superhero. Ain't nothing like a superhero crashing and burning. You see what happens when Superman get next to that kryptonite? That's going to be you. In a corner. No vibranium. Take a hit. Come on. Let's restock. Let's implement self-care. Let's go into our personal caches. Let's go into our rooms. Let's turn on some music. Let's burn some candles. Let's do something. Let's allow ourselves to rest, relax, rejuvenate, recalibrate, and get on full. So I want you to check out my podcast. It's Cadence in the Clouds. Again, it's on iTunes, Google Play. It's also on Spotify and Stitcher, and on Podbean. Podbean is where I host it. You can listen to it. It's about 37 minutes. I try to keep them as short as 30 minutes so it can be part of your train ride, if you're a train ride, or part of your car ride, or part of your lunch break. And I do want you to share the podcast with others, please. A lot of... I said to leave a comment. I get more DM messages. That's why in the end you heard, so slide in my DM. And those who have already slid in my DM, that's why I'm doing this video. But I thank you in advance for just checking it out. And I thank you in advance for checking out my website. Oh, and my commercials. Yes, so the commercials, I do them on my own because I think they're so cute. So I did Rustic last week. I did myself this week. So if you know of individuals who would want me to give them a shout out on the podcast, I definitely will share that. Hey, Vicky, listens in the car. Yay. What up, Buck? So, yeah, just check it out. And it's important to, and here's the thing, right? A lot of people feel as though they don't need to add self-care in their regimen because they're like, toughy. I'm tough. I'm this, I'm that. Listen, the best of the best needs to cape down. Remember, Superman was Clark Kent. When he was Clark Kent, he was like a nerd in the office. He was recharging. He wasn't using all his superpowers. When T'Challa is not Black Panther, he's T'Challa. Over at the UN. Chilling. And then he's with the Avengers. But then there's downtime. Everyone has downtime. You need downtime. You need to implement some self-care in that downtime. It's not going to cost you any money. That's the other thing. Everybody wants you to spend a coin. My book, yes, $9.99, The Divine Butterfly on Amazon.com. You can spend that. But everything does not require you to spend money. Some things just require you to spend some time on and with yourself. Okay? So I thank you for joining my impromptu live that I never announce nowadays. And share it. Share the live. Share the podcast. Take a listen. If you haven't listened, check it out. Share it with a friend. Repost it on your Facebook page and your social media pages. And I thank you in advance. Okay? Happy Friday, everybody.